Welcome to the Cash Pay Podcast, the go-to podcast for med spas, IV therapy clinics, and wellness practices ready to grow, scale, and lead in the cash pay medical space. I'm your host, Hillary Small, founder of the MedSpa Society. I've branded, developed, and launched practices across the U.S., and I'm still in the trenches every day working alongside practice owners just like you. The show is honest, authentic, and built on real-world experience. Each week, you'll get expert strategies and unfiltered insights on marketing, operations, cutting-edge treatments, patient experience, and more, so you can run a profitable, efficient, and rewarding business. Let's dive into today's episode. To the Cash Pay Podcast, I'm Hillary Small, and today I am here with Stephanie Vogel from Persona Nutrition. And what we're going to be talking about today is adding personalized wellness to your practice. To give you a little bit of background, Persona Nutrition is a leader in personalized vitamin and supplement programs offering science-backed custom nutrition plans based on an individual's unique health needs, lifestyle, and goals. They use an evidence-based assessment to create tailored recommendations, helping people take the guesswork out of supplementation and support their overall wellness. Persona Pro, which Stephanie is going to be talking about today, is their practitioner-exclusive platform that allows healthcare providers, med spas, and wellness clinics to integrate personalized nutrition into their practice. It enables practitioners to offer custom vitamin and supplement protocols to patients, supporting better health outcomes, enhancing the patient experience, and contributing to stronger retention. So Stephanie, thank you so much for being here today. And if you could just give a little bit of an introduction of yourself and your role as the VP of Business Development at Persona.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Hillary. My name is Stephanie Vogel. I am currently VP of Business Development for Persona. However, I started out in functional medicine and was immersed in that for 16 years of my career. And I worked really on a patient-facing, patient experience, operational side of things, and had the opportunity to join Persona in September of last year. And really my initiative when I joined Persona was to take Persona from a direct-to-consumer company and reach out to large-scale, high enterprise companies and give them the ability to leverage our infrastructure through a white label to span out in personalized nutrition. And along my journey, I discovered that 8 years ago, Persona created a platform called Persona Pro. So a little context, Persona was acquired by Nestle in 2019 and then reacquired back by the original CEO. And back in 2018, Persona was going to partner with a very extensive concierge network, and that's why Persona Pro was created. However, within the acquisition of Nestle, that wasn't an initiative for Nestle, and that kind of fell on the wayside. So they had this almost built technology and then basically put it on a shelf and just never did anything with it. So as I embarked on my journey, I realized that this was something that was available, and it just intrigued me so much. Just from my background, such a patient-facing side, I knew right away that this was such a need for not only the patients, but the providers. So here we are.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And so Stephanie and I met even more years ago now when we were both involved in a multi-location functional medicine practice. And in her role at that practice, Stephanie also had exposure to how personalization, personalized supplements, and nutrition can impact a patient's success when they're embarking on a wellness plan. The benefit of working with Stephanie and Persona in the capacity of Persona Pro is that she brings this background of experience and how to work with your patients to not only create that personalized treatment plan that incorporates these things, again, like supplements and nutrition that are guided by their specific needs, blood work, and those types of things. Like she knows how a practice like that should function and how these things can be incorporated into your practice to help with better outcomes and retention long term. That being said, I have some questions for Stephanie to answer that will give you an understanding if you already offer wellness services in your practice or maybe you don't, how having a tool like Persona Pro can enhance your services and how you work with patients. So the first question that I have is, like we were talking about, you have extensive experience in patient advocacy as one of the top patient support roles in a large functional medicine practice, dealing with hundreds of patients. And from that lens, what do you see as key drivers of patient retention for these types of aesthetics and wellness practices?
So I think it all boils down to simplicity at the end of the day. So when someone embarks on their health journey and wants to address optimization, integrative medicine, preventative care, someone embarks on that journey and they're willing to start everything because they're super excited to get healthy and be a better version of themselves. Psychologically, not sustainable for most people. So you get that initial excitement and someone's like, okay, I'm going to start my hormones, start my aminopeptides, start my supplements. And then we expect them to consistently keep up with that. And it's just psychologically not in human nature, right? So nutrition is such an important aspect of optimization. Giving them the tool to have such a convenient way to take their supplements really keeps them on track. They don't even need to think about it. I can't tell you how many times we start a patient on a protocol and they're given 6 bottles of supplements, hormones, aminopeptides to inject. And they ask me, is there any way to make this easier? Like, I ran out of this bottle and it was only a 30-day supply, but you sent me another bottle that's a 60-day supply. And you just, from experience, things drop off over time. And then the results are not the results that they were looking for, because in order to get results, you need to be consistent. And when you're in functional medicine and in the world of optimization, there are steps and things that you need to do consistently in order to get the results that you want. So that's why I was so intrigued about coming to Persona, because of the way and the science that was built to make this easy for a doctor or a patient. So I think simplicity is.
And in that, yeah, I definitely agree with all of those things. And simplicity, guidance, education is so important. And those are things that with Persona Pro as a tool, practices have that at their fingertips because you give that to them, and therefore they can give that to their patients, which leads me to the next question of how can practices leverage personalized wellness programs like what Persona offers to enhance their patient experience and retention?
I might want to take a couple steps back. Our medical advisory board created our lifestyle assessment. And our chief medical officer is Dr. Mike Roizen, who is also the chief wellness officer of the Cleveland Clinic, along with 5 other doctors from Johns Hopkins, pharmacists, dietitians, and nutritionists, created our lifestyle assessment and all of the logic behind it. And it is based off of over 100,000 patient visits. Also created a drug nutrient interaction database that a patient would go through to see if any of their prescription medications interact with a specific nutrient, and vice versa, if any of their prescription medications deplete a specific nutrient. After a patient would fill out that assessment, can go through the drug nutrient interaction database. They're given a recommendation of all nutrients, vitamins, supplements, herbs that are best geared for them. And then the provider has the ability to further customize that based off of their clinical insights on the patient, any lab data that you're doing in office. We have an on-site pharmacist who formulates all of our supplements. She sources all of our ingredients, and we contract manufacture out to GMP certified manufacturers. We have a state-of-the-art facility based out of Snoqualmie, Washington, and nothing's able to enter our clean room environment without a certificate of analysis. So everything is third-party tested. We don't only have the science, the technology, the product. We also provide ongoing support to patients with our on-site clinic, which consists of registered dietitians and nutritionists, which is a great resource for companies to leverage to better support their patients and give a more personalized experience.
I just want to say, too, as far as platforms like this go, Persona, they were one of the first to offer something like this. And like Stephanie said, the technology that runs all of this in the background, Persona is the only one that has it to the extent that they offer that drug interaction database, which is huge. Because without being a provider that has that knowledge, obviously you have references to go to, but to have that tool, to me, I feel like it is invaluable, especially if you are somebody like, a health coach, maybe you're not a physician with a medical background. Having a resource like that, again, is extremely invaluable. So next, I'd like to talk or have Stephanie talk a bit about how you can get set up on the Persona Pro platform. And I wanted to mention that we have a companion webinar to this that I will link in the show description that you can go to and actually see what the platform looks like as she walks you through that in the webinar. But I want her, for the purposes of this, to talk about how you can go about integrating this into your practice and how easy it is.
Yeah. So, it's a very simple process. Right now, we're in our pilot phases of it. So it's going to be a continuous evolution of perfection as we gain feedback from our providers. But right now, you would create an account, basic demographics on yourself, on your business. And then in real time, you're given a custom URL to your practice that you have the ability to further co-brand, upload your logo to create more brand collaboration for your practice. And the platform is super simple. It's pretty honestly self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
But like Hillary said, we did do a webinar and I walk you through it. But it's a very simple process, very simple onboarding process. Everything's already created for you. We have developed marketing cadences in your platform to leverage that as well. So it's really a one size fits all platform. You can be as hands-on with it or as hands-off with it as you wish. So yeah, super simple.
So, a couple things that to add to that I know just from playing around with and experimenting with the platform is you do get your own unique URL, which is great. So you can share that throughout your marketing, and it takes minutes to set up and it costs nothing. The platform, and then Stephanie can talk a little bit about what the compensation looks like if you do start using Persona Pro for the supplement platform for your patients. And then also in line with that, why I want Stephanie to talk a little bit about why consider Persona, like if you are already offering white label supplements or if you are not offering supplements at all, why should you consider Persona Pro over other platforms that might do something similar? Or again, you're maybe offering a different option or another option.
So most practices I'm talking to who do offer supplements use either full scripts or whole scripts, not really any type of personalization. And yes, you have the ability to white label those products and those bottles, but they are still bottles. And it's not truly personalized to your patients, and you're providing a completely different service. From a practice business perspective, when you are white labeling, you have to consider what the MOQs look like for that, the cost that for that branding. I will say Persona is 30% cheaper than if you were to buy individual bottles, just because of the scale we are at and how we don't have to purchase any bottles. Just the way our business model is, which is a good advantage for your patients at a cost perspective, and at a cost perspective to your practice and a cash flow perspective to your practice. You literally don't ever have to worry about something being out of stock or back ordered or whatever the case may be. You literally can just order right in the portal and know that it's going to be delivered to your patient on a continuous basis, and that patient is going to be taken care of, and you can focus on your clinical practice and your wheelhouse. So it's very easy for a provider.
Can you talk a little bit about your manufacturing facility and the quality of the supplements that Persona offers?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we have an on-site pharmacist who is absolutely incredible, and she formulates all of our products, and then we contract manufacture out to GMP certified manufacturers, and we've been using our manufacturers for, I'm saying, 20 years. So we have great relationships with them. They're actually investors in Persona. And then we have a state-of-the-art facility in Snoqualmie, Washington, where our pick, pack, and ship operations take place. We were owned by Nestle. So if you can only imagine, we were audited every single quarter. We're fully HIPAA compliant, and we have a tech team in-house. We don't third party out. So our technology is solid and secure.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think that that's really important, especially when it comes to supplements. And so many people are going to, certain platforms to order their supplements, and you just don't know what
the nutraceutical industry is one of the most uncontrolled industries there is.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous, to be quite honest. We did a case study, and I think there was 50,000 reports of ER visits per year of dangers from someone taking a supplement that didn't interacted with their prescription medication. It's honestly very dangerous, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing too. It's, as a medical provider, your patients are looking to you to provide the highest quality and the safest options for them. And this gives you that platform in order to do that.
And then I also want to point out, Hillary, the psychological aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always bring this up because I personally experienced it. So that's why I think it's super important. There's days where I wake up and I sleep through my alarm and I miss the gym in the morning. And on those days, my day is gone, right? Like, I did not go to the gym in the morning. Okay, this day does not count. I can be unhealthy today. I'm going to eat whatever. And then tomorrow I'm going to start again. So Persona, that changed my whole way, like my subconscious works, right? I wake up, I walk into my office, and my Persona sits right on my desk, and I take my morning pack, and I psychologically started my day off on a healthy foot. And I don't want to do anything to mess with my streak because I did something healthy first thing. So I'm going to keep that momentum going.
Right.
So I noticed that, I took my supplements. Okay, I'm going to continue to be healthy today. I'm going to work out. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to eat my protein. And over time, like, I'm healthier by just the psychological aspect of it.
Yeah, no, that is so true from a wellness perspective. And, just a little bit about me, like I am obviously very into health, very into wellness, and being able to simplify, like you were saying, and easily add it to your routine, which is what it allows you to do. Obviously, not having multiple bottles, not having to, like, if you travel a lot, just being able to really have that simplification with how people's lives are so busy, and being able to make it easy for them is going to make their lives easier, but also as a provider it's going to lead to better outcomes and better results. And another thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't recall if we did in this conversation, is that as a provider with this platform, you have the ability to go in and adjust a patient's supplements that they have currently in their packs based on their progression in their wellness journeys. If they are getting blood work done if they're getting blood work done with you and that's what's guiding your supplement protocols, those can be easily adjusted on the platform. And then you're sending it to that patient to essentially approve and purchase, which again, we go through that visually in the webinar. But I think that that's, from a simplicity perspective on the provider side, that is something to point out for sure.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, I think that we have covered the basics of Persona Pro. And with the Cash Pay podcast and the MedSpa Society, my goal is to bring to you the companies and the people who we trust and will help you bring your practice, help you guide your practice to success. And Persona Pro is definitely one of those companies that can do that. And Stephanie is a great resource to not only help you with getting set up on Persona, but just in general, and the knowledge that she has in running and helping guide patients in a successful wellness practice and on their journey. To wrap this up, I would just like Stephanie to share where people can go to learn more about Persona Pro and sign up and get in touch with her. I will have some links in the description, but I definitely want her to share how you can get in touch with her.
So feel free to email me. My email is stephaniev@personanutrition.com. If you wanted to create an account for Persona Pro, it's www.personanutritionpro.com/the MedSpa Society. And I'm sure Hillary will link that. And if you don't reach out to me and you create an account, don't you worry. I will reach out to you and we'll walk through it together.
Sounds great. And yes, thank you so much again for joining us for this episode of the Cash Pay podcast. Please go to the description to find more information and the links that we shared in the podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe.